Boruto is done, Kawaki without a limiter has come, and Koji sees the future timeline changing. No intro, just straight to the point. But please, help me break the algorithm by smashing that like button as much as you can. Thanks, guys. If Chapter 22 had Boruto as the cover and Jura as the title, in Chapter 23, Jura is the cover, and the strongest is the title. Quick disclaimer though, since this is a text-based spoiler and not official, forgive me if some parts turn out to be slightly off, but I'll do my best to keep it accurate. So the scene opens with Mitsuki in Sage mode fighting alone with some Tsumeaka that Jura had previously left behind. And moments after Mitsuki took down all the Tsumeaka, Konohamaru was seen running toward them with a Togodama Matsuri in his hand. Then, after Mitsuki took care of the problem there, Mitsuki confirmed to Konohamaru if they divided the task with Araya, who took the Togodama Ryu. Mitsuki, who was seen carrying Sarada, who was still unconscious, the dialogue began with Konohamaru telling Mitsuki that he was almost killed by Matsuri. But fortunately, Boruto rushed over and saved him. Konohamaru also explained to Mitsuki if indeed Jura's goal was most likely to kill Boruto. Even according to Konohamaru, for Shinju like Jura, killing Boruto is the most important thing than the Toge Dama itself, which is their partner as a divine tree man. Mitsuki, who heard that explanation, he intended to invite Konohamaru to join Boruto to defeat Jura. But because Boruto had instructed Konohamaru beforehand to gather with the others, Konohamaru refused Mitsuki's suggestion. Then the scene shifts back to Boruto and Jura, where Boruto appears to be in a very critical condition, because judging by the expression on his face and the hand holding his stomach, it looks like Boruto has a fatal wound. But this is an opportunity that Jura does not waste. Biju Bomb was shot once again towards Boruto and Bomb. A large explosion in the desert can create a huge damage effect. But for the umpteenth time, Boruto managed to avoid the attack. And yeah, after Boruto managed to evade the attack by jumping toward the rocky cliffs in the desert, Jura now realizes that his tailed beast monster ball is a spinning move, clearly Boruto's biggest weakness. Firing from extreme range using a rifle type or perhaps close range shots with a scatter type might be relatively effective against an opponent like Boruto. And again, Jura tried to realize his analysis by launching successive shots of a spinning Biju Bomb at Boruto. But as we saw, Boruto avoided the Biju Bomb with a flight pattern that was not straight but rather twisted or turned. Boruto, who flew, turned towards Jura while throwing kunai at him, trying to fight at close range. But you can see for yourself, guys, how the fight between Boruto and Jura is really mesmerizing until I can't describe how the fight between the two is so intense and very exciting. But one thing is for sure, look at this shit! Boruto severed one of Jura's legs with one slash of his sword. It's so crazy that Jura doesn't even give an expression on his face after losing one of his legs. And until one moment, Jura managed to grab one of Boruto's hands, and at the same time, Jura shot one Biju Bomb right in Boruto's face. Damn, this is crazy. But Boruto is the MC here. Purple Lightning, a lightning technique as a form of absolute defense and also to thwart Jura's intention to launch the Biju Bomb that Jura had previously intended to shoot right in Boruto's face. However, even though the damage from the Shiden technique doesn't do that much damage, it is at least enough to make Jura let go of Boruto and move away from him a little. But here seems to be Boruto's limit point. The intense battle that drained his stamina, Jura realized that Boruto's movements were getting slower. Moreover, Jura saw Boruto panting. And like that, here was Jura trying to end it all. Instead of trying to attack him with the tailed monster ball, it might be faster if I beat him to death. That's at least what Jura said after seeing Boruto's weakening condition. But before that, the scene shows Konohamaru with Mitsuki, who is carrying Sarada walking to a point previously instructed by Boruto. But unfortunately, we don't see Yodo and Araya. And back to the fight. I don't know how fast Jura is moving, but at least it allows Jura to knock Boruto down with one hard punch right on his body. Seeing Boruto fall to the ground, Jura did not waste the opportunity to launch one more Biju Bomb with an explosion that might be bigger than before, with an explosive effect that produces dust so large that it interferes with vision. Boruto, who again managed to avoid the attack. But unfortunately this time, Jura was able to track Boruto and stand right behind him. But for the second time, with a very disrespectful middle finger, Jura blocked the attack from Boruto's sword. Even with Jura's middle finger, he was able to deal damage to Boruto's sword. Damn, this is crazy. Such a hard leg could break off, but his middle finger could provide such a strong defense that it could even inflict damage on the sword. Absolutely. Boruto, who looked shocked after seeing the defense of Jura's middle finger, and he was caught off guard. Jura kicked Boruto hard until he fell to the ground once again. Boruto, who was seen lying on the ground, it looks like this will end. Somewhere else, Eida saw that and told Koji that Eida could no longer watch this fight, and if it continued, then Boruto would really be killed. But Koji's gesture is quite strange here. He seemed to be holding his head like someone who was in pain. But as it turns out, one of his left eyes, which we know as Jippo, appears to be active for the second time, an update to be more precise. If initially Koji saw a future line, he was on the verge of death, now that ability is active like an update after Boruto is on the verge of death. From several future scenes seen from that eye, there are several pieces of the future that show Himawari, Boruto, Inojin, and even Jura, who closed one eye of his rinnegan, appeared in Koji's future line. But in the case of the Jura who closed one eye, it signaled that someone was coming from the future. And finally, the most intense moment begins. Boruto is completely down, seemingly unconscious, while Jura stands right in front of him, saying that he respects Boruto. Even though Jura managed to bring him down, Boruto is still breathing, with his hand tightly gripping and refusing to let go of his master's sword, Sasuke Uchiha's blade. And after that, Jura flew in the air to shoot Boruto from above with a Biju bomb to end Boruto's life. But unexpectedly, Kawaki with no limiter has come. Using Sukuna Hikona, he shrunk his body to conceal his movements. Then Kawaki appeared right on Jura's shoulder, stabbing his rinnegan eye with a black rod and destroying it. But apparently, according to Kawaki, a monster like Jura wouldn't be killed just like that. Then the scene shows Koji again, informing Eida that there's been an update. Yeah, just like a Windows update, Jippo's abilities have been updated after Boruto, as the singularity of fate changed them. Even in this moment, Eida is panicking, or more precisely, shocked, after seeing Kawaki arrive on the battlefield to help Boruto. But it's not only Eida. Even Koji seems surprised by Kawaki's arrival. However, Koji suspects that Boruto must have told Kawaki something beforehand, which could explain why the two are now working together. But it seems like the problems keep coming endlessly. When Konohamaru and Mitsuki were at a point that Boruto had instructed, Mitsuki showed a quite strange gesture. Even Mitsuki himself was confused and asked Konohamaru why Boruto chose a place like this. But at the same time, Delta had come to the location where Konohamaru and the others had gathered. And finally, Kawaki without a limiter is about to fight Jura one-on-one. With the limiter removed, he showed a significant change. This time, his power increased along with the speed of the black rod, which was unavoidable and even pierced Jura's body. And after a while, Boruto finally regained consciousness. Jura, who clearly noticed Kawaki's massive power-up, looked confused about what had happened to him. At the very least, Jura could sense a significant difference in power level from before. But before Kawaki could kill Jura, he activated his karma and warned Boruto to stay in control. Because if Boruto were to go berserk and lose control, Kawaki said he would kill him right there and then. But whatever Boruto is thinking, or whatever plan he has to suppress Momoshiki so that his karma doesn't resonate with Kawaki's, Boruto tells Kawaki not to worry about it. And finally, Chapter 23 ends with Kawaki without a limiter about to face off against Jura, who has now lost one leg and one of his rinnegan eyes. But is this the turning point for Kawaki and Boruto? We'll just have to wait until next month to find out. No Jugun, no Momoshiki. This is Kawaki. Yeah! Thank you for always watching me. I'm Nim. See you on the 19th. Bye-bye, Databayo.